Welcome to the Phat Cats Swinger Show!
The show where you go behind the bandstands
and hang with the cats. Tune in for the stories.
And stay for the mayhem.
You might even spot some cat shenanigans.
With your hosts, Marco Palos
and Mark Kapitsky. This week on the Phat Cat Swinger Show.
That's right, it's Casual Wednesdays. It's Marco, Mark, and Mr. Daps, and Sammy K. Join in the fun, comment, and enter the giveaway.
Fasten your seatbelts, because here we go! Hey, everybody!
Hey!
Hello!
Whoa,
There it is.
How you guys doing?
Wonderful.
Doing well.
I was a little worried
you're
about Mark, but
yeah, you're in a different location there. What are we looking at here?
I am in New York City. I literally just arrived like 30 minutes ago, and I'm like a block or two away from the Empire State Building. My friend.
can you see it?
What was that?
Can you see it?
Not from here, but when I was walking up, I was just like, oh my goodness,
That's
where am I right now?
That's awesome.
It's insane. It's my friend's
Very
apartment.
cool.
But anyway, I'm in New York. Marco, you're?
I'm also in New York. I'm
You're
about
also
5 hours north of you. Just if you were to take the train station and go all the way up basically to Canada, you'd get to me. So
Okay.
actually, I lied, because after you take the train hours for 5 hours, you still have to drive another 2. So it's a long day. It's a long
Well, it
journey.
sounds like I think you're 5 hours from me. You know what I mean?
I think so. Like
Yeah.
5 hours just north, though. Same time zone.
Yeah.
Same
but
time zone.
You should come down. You should come down.
Ah!
That's what I mean.
I know, right? You're not so far. Well, how long are you in the city for?
I'm here until Sunday morning.
Okay. Right on. Hey, and
Yeah.
Angela says she's going to be in New York City next week.
Oh,
Hey,
Not
all
that
right.
much.
Missed it by that much.
and Mr.
So-
Daps, you're in the Daps corner, of course.
I'm
Got,
still in California.
Yeah. All right. How about what do we got for casual today? I'm wearing my Lizzie and the Triggerman t-shirt today.
Foolish
for-
Mortal
for-
Supply.
Foolish Mortal Supplies. Nice,
Yes.
nice. And Mark is wearing
I am wearing a blue suit, if you can tell.
That's all right.
I'm trying to see if I can get some light over here.
Here, I'll give you some light.
Thank you. Yes, there we go.
There it
That's
is.
so perfect.
Pretty, shirt that I wore during travel today, so it's fresh from an airplane.
There you go. That's good. That's right. Mark flew all the way to New York today and was awesome enough to make it in time to be on the show for everybody here on Wednesday night. So I don't know. I think that deserves a good round of applause.
Come on.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, so welcome back, everybody. We're here for another Casual Wednesday. We're doing Casual Wednesdays because, we just wanted to tone it down just a little bit, but still have some fun and be able to connect with you more in these comments, wherever they might be that you're watching over here on your screens. And, we'd like to say hello to everyone who's here so far. So if you are tuning in from wherever you are, let us know in the comments down below so we know. And if you also don't mind, while we're just getting things started, why don't we all give a little share and a like, if you don't mind, on your social media, Facebook, somewhere. Heck, if you know somebody who watches YouTube on their phone, text it to them so we can get some more people in here today. And it looks like we didn't quite reach our 1,100 subscribers so that Mark would get splashed. So, Mark, you're very lucky today.
But
So it would
I feel like Mark had to go through enough over the weekend that it was okay.
Oh,
It's true. It's true.
Oh.
I don't know if we got any sort of preview of anything we did this last weekend.
Oh,
I have a
But,
picture. Does that work, Marco?
You have a picture? Yeah.
I
Okay, so friends, we just got to we went to go see our good friend, Mr. Big Sandy, and we also saw our friend Paige, who was there, and we met her friend Paige. If you could remind us your friend's name one more time, unless Mark or Mr. Daps might remember. Was it?
right? Yeah, Ty, I believe. Mhm.
Ty? Was it Ty?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we had a great time watching Mr. Big Sandy, who we had as on a guest the day that I was traveling in New Orleans, and we also got to hear Dwight Yoakam and hear him tell some stories and whatnot. But it was tied. Nice job, Mark.
200 points.
Man, Mark's going to get all the
That's
points
right.
today.
You're on a roll tonight.
I know. I see.
But,
Chris
yeah.
they got already 200 points. Anyway,
Exactly. So you're on a roll. But one of the things we did afterwards, what do you do when you're at the fair? But go ahead and animate yourself.
you
in
eat
a way.
really healthy food. Oh,
And that too.
Look at that. Oh,
Looks just like us.
it does. It looks super cute.
Aw.
So, but today for Casual Wednesday, we thought it would be fun to bring on a friend. So why don't we get some hand claps and heart taps going, hearts and everything in the comments for our good friend here, Mr. Slammin Sammy K.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sammy K, our good friend. How you doing, Slammin Sammy K?
Great. I love the bi-coastal situation here. I need to know, are you anywhere near Lake George, New York?
Oh, so I'm about, I'd say, a couple hours north of that.
Okay. There's an amazing roller coaster over there. Whatever you're doing, cancel your plans. Great Escape, Lake George, New York. Go ride it. I need a report.
All right. Hopefully, between now and next Tuesday, that's my countdown, because after that, I'm going on the road.
You can do that. You're a pro.
All right. Lake George. Hey, look at it's Amanda Castro, everybody, in the comments over here.
I am sporting the ACD shirt and the
Look at that.
PCS pin.
Oh yeah.
He's got his official PCS pin.
Ooh,
I'm realizing we have to have a ceremony and officiate that give him Mr. Daps an official pin. And I keep forgetting.
Right.
I keep, this is I've actually, believe it or not, I'll say this, I've had it in my pocket a few times and I've completely forgot because we were having so much fun being together that I just completely forgot about anything that would have been ceremonial or official, and we're having too much fun.
As always happens.
I even brought it to the barbecue that we had together, so that tells you how long I've been trying.
Okay.
Wow.
But we're just having too much fun.
You know what? When we do the next barbecue here and we do a show from the studio, that should be when you do it.
There we go. You know what? One of these days we should have a host a show there from Geeks Corner over there.
Maybe the next Casual Wednesday that we do, we can do it in the corner after we've eaten way too much. And
I'll be sitting there rotating on the chair.
Deep fryer out, Mr. Daps.
Are you sure you want to go there again?
No, I don't. No.
Oh,
I'm sure we can find something interesting.
No.
Right. There's got to be something. Do we have any footage? No, not yet. Not even a teaser, maybe.
No, I could try to pull something up.
We'll see if we get a teaser. We got to show you what else, but we're gonna preview this next time, either the next Casual Wednesday or next week. But Sammy, man, where are you broadcasting from with us today?
I'm here at Drum Palace Studio A. This is where I do all of my at-home recording, online teaching, shedding. Where it's kind of part gym, part business. This is where we come to do the musical workouts.
Yeah.
And, it was a dream for a long, long time. And I know that, the itis has been horrible for everybody. But one blessing that came out of the itis for me was I was actually able to have the time and the personnel I needed to build this room, who are normally not available because they're working and busy. And we made it happen. So now I'm able to record here. I've done some video stuff for people, and I just did a musical about Nat Cole from here. And it's a nice room. Cool. I'm really, really happy to have it. So I am in the historic city of Pasadena, California.
Oh, yeah.
In the shadow of the Rose Bowl, as it were. And everyone here has to learn this when you move in, so I can do that.
Yes.
And we're good. But it's a great room, man. It's I'm really lucky to have it. I'm able to come in here and practice or record or work on new things. It's a great place to have a place to go. As musicians, we always have to have that place we go where we can make mistakes without fear of a problem. And this is my safe space. And
Very
I just
nice.
come in here and I work with the drums, and it's great. It's a great place. And look, now we can do video like this, and I look reasonably professional.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
it sounds great too.
Yeah, it was designed with drums and loud sounds in mind, and it's got a lot of abatement, and it weighs thousands and thousands of pounds. It's 4 layers of drywall plus soundproofing plus green glue. It was no small task. And the floor is floating on rubber pylons, doesn't touch the walls. It's the whole thing.
Oh, so you really went all out.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
Very
This
nice.
is my one attempt to go, hey, it's really bad we're down, right? It's really bad we're not entertaining. This is bad. And then I was like, well, what can be good?
Sure.
So this is something I could do that was good. And so I'll forever have this as a memory, along with the other challenges we've all been through, right? But I'll at least have this good memory.
In addition to that, I heard you're also doing some other good by hitting back to some of the school books.
Oh, I finished 2 what do they call it? 2 professional certificates.
That's
through my benevolent corporate overlord, the Walt Disney Company, and it was really nice. They have a program called Aspire. And through Aspire, if you were someone who worked there at a certain level, you were able to go ahead and go back to school. I did it all online through the Wilmington University of Delaware.
Hey, all right. I got some friends there.
Same colors as my favorite school, Michigan State University, green and white. So I had to go to another green and white school. So that's how I picked it. And I got 1 certificate in human resources HR, and then the other one is in boy, it'd be good if I could think of that, wouldn't it? Staff
something
training.
That'll come in handy.
Nothing that has anything to do with the drums.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. Sometimes we got to do that. Look a little outside of our music and see what we can do.
It was challenging. I will say, had that been available when I was in school originally, I would have loved it. I would have loved the online schooling. But at first, when you haven't done that, it was challenging. There was a lot of challenges, and I had to reach out to several of my colleagues in the education field for help. And thank God they're nice people, because it takes a village to raise a drummer. And they were great. So I finished that up, and I'm probably not charging right back into that again.
That's it. Hey, you know what?
I think I'm going to take it easy for a minute.
But you did it. You did it.
Again, this whole thing with COVID's been a drag for those of us who perform. I mean, there's no way to get around it. Our industry's been down. It's just actual data. And what you do with that factual data kind of helps define where you go. So I went ahead and said, oh, Disney's offering me this. This is the time. So I did it.
Yeah.
And then the room, I could get the guys that knew how to do it. That was the time. So I wish I had been out playing gigs?
Three great things. That's 3 great things. It's been different for everybody. And I'll tell you, one of the things that, that's one of the reasons we started this show. And we wanted to feature many artists. And this time, you're technically our first guest for Casual Wednesday, because the first one we did by ourselves. So, we're excited to be trying new things, and we're going to continue doing that while we, slowly work our way back to the stage, however that's going to be, and looking in the future. But, that's the thing we do as musicians as best as we can. I mean, when we can. There's the ups and downs, but you got to keep trying to find something that you could do to just keep yourself moving forward, right? And and I mean, of course, take those pauses when you need them. That's one of the things I've learned in this last year, and that's why I find myself over here at Mountain Paradise to just take a few moments to just kind of breathe and relax and slow down and allow myself to do that. Because as musicians, we have been working for many, many years, especially to get to the levels we were at, or maybe if you're a musician that's just getting started and then suddenly this happens and it's like, oh, but it's all going to come back in a way. So we just got to keep watching for the signals and everything that we can to keep doing and going forward. You know what I mean?
And just embrace that it may be a new paradigm. I'm not of a belief that I'm looking for 2019 to return. That's my personal view on this. And I'm not, everybody has their own thing. I'm just saying, for me, I'm not waiting for that moment where it's like it's 2019 again for me. I understand that when you go through something of this significance in a society and globally, because I was supposed to be in Japan playing, I've supposed to have been to Hawaii to record albums. Like, there has been some stuff that was on my plate for 2020 that I was super excited about that evaporated in 5 days. It was all gone for me in 5 days. It was text after text after email.
Exactly.
Gone.
That was March for all of us,
2020 lined up. So, you know, finding a way to find a positive in all of this is, I think, healthy. And for those of us who entertain, I think the hardest part is usually in an emergency or a challenge, we show up. That's when we come out and we bring our bands and we play benefits, and we'll raise money online playing music, or we'll do overpriced song requests to donate to children's hospitals, or the things we can do that we can do to help others. And in this case, we're handcuffed because they really don't want us out there, and they don't want people gathering, and they don't want us inciting dancing and joy and the things that we are aiming to do when we perform. So that's why this one's been weird for me, because normally I think by now, you know, if it was any other thing, if this was like wildfires or floods or any other thing I've been through, or tornado damage, whatever, we would have organized and had bands out there entertaining people while they're at the food line, while people are helping and giving household items. You'd have bands come down and play, and most of us probably for free to give some love to people because we're blessed, right? So I think that's what's been hard, man, is we haven't been able to hit that switch where we can take the things we do and share them with others. And I know for me, as much as I love practicing and as much as I love developing, and I've done a lot of that in this year, I missed putting a smile on somebody's face. I miss somebody laughing if I do something silly. I miss a tear in somebody's eye if the song we're doing brings back a memory. I miss that. I miss human beings. I always feel like music is for and by humans, and I'm missing that human connection.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And as while it's not one-on-one, this show has been one of our solutions to that for us to try and get through. And despite all the things that have been happening, this has allowed us to kind of try to find that little bit of light, because the whether it be our friends who watch us in the live or after, or send us a message afterwards, I'll tell you, I don't know about you guys, but for me to receive a message from anybody who takes the time out in the last year has become, you know, a personal connection that I feel, you know, as people, it's the one of the only ways to communicate nowadays, you know, while we continue to get through this, you know. But it just, for somebody to take a moment and write, and even if we might be a little too mentally exhausted to write a big message back, just taking a moment to say thank you sometimes, you know, to anybody who has taken the time to do that, and even like be it here watching the show or sharing something that you see online, those little bits, they do mean something to and a lot to many people. So, you know, keep doing those, even if not everyone's as responsive just yet, because everyone's in a different place, you know what I mean? But one of the places that we try to be here is uplifting and you know, supportive of that. So thank you very much for sharing your experience about that. You know, I think without having chosen a topic, that was a wonderful topic to even just start and you know, put out there again, you know?
Sometimes the drummer gets lucky, Marco.
What's that?
Sometimes the drummer gets lucky, comes up with something good.
Hey, that's good. That's good. I'll tell you what, though, since we actually put a questionnaire on Instagram today, and some of you responded, and it's not too late if you still want to get up there and put any of your questions in. Heck, you could even just put them here in the comments right now. But we are going to go ahead and do what we call our popcorn section. So, Mr. Daps, if you would, roll that tape. Popcorn. So, Mr. Daps, talk us through this segment here.
All right, so we have got a bunch actually. I was impressed with how many different topics we were given, and if we work through all of these, we'll pull some more up. But should we hop right into them, Marco?
Let's hop right into it.
The first one that we have from our popcorn: never wanted to be painted. If you could have a meal with anyone, who would it be and why? They can be either living or deceased.
Okay.
I don't know who you want to start off, but there's the question.
Shall we invite our guest?
I think our guest should start off.
All right.
Let me see here. I have two parallel answers. So let me veer off one that you might not be expecting, because I think if I went with the other one, Marco would be looking for it.
Oh, okay.
I would like to have a meal with John Allen, who means nothing to anyone watching this broadcast right now.
All right.
He was one of the engineers who was extremely responsible for the growth and development of roller coasters. He did a lot of things. He and the company Philadelphia Toboggan Company that he worked for, or PTC, you'll see on some trains. And I would love to sit down with him, because he was doing this before the handheld Texas Instrument calculator. He was doing this before CAD/CAM. He was doing this before your phone had more computing power than what we use to send people to the moon with Apollo. He had paper, and he had a pencil, and he used slide rules, and he paced the ground and looked at the grass and figured out where things were going to go. And I would love to talk to him and find out from an engineering standpoint, what was he thinking about, and how was he designing that, and how did he know what mathematical calculations would hopefully create the train doing what he wanted it to do when it was loaded with people and traveling, in Earth's gravity with outdoor stuff, with wind or rain or any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lot to figure out. So I think I would love to just sit down. I know that's like a super nerd answer, but I'm sorry, folks.
That's
I am
awesome.
All about it.
nerd. I am super
All about
nerd.
it.
Can I ask
Total
a follow-up on that?
Yeah.
What era, like what were the years he was doing this?
He was doing this well into the early 70s.
Okay.
But
And then, like, when did he start?
Roller coasters for a long time didn't have what's called an upstop wheel. So if you've got the rail, there was nothing underneath to keep the train on. So you couldn't have things like the Incredicoaster or Ghost Rider or any of these things we ride here in California, the Cyclone out there in New York. We couldn't have any of those without that wheel underneath to keep it on the track. They used to just travel under their weight kept them on the rails.
Wow.
And there's one of those left in Pennsylvania called Leap the Dips. It has no bottom wheels. It's side friction, and it actually jumps off the track in little places.
Oh my God.
I mean,
Oh my God.
like this high. We're not talking. It's not,
Still.
yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
So
That's all it takes. That's all it takes to derail.
Right.
Yes, correct. So for me,
Wow.
I've always tried to do a parallel thing where, with my musical growth, I try to stretch my brain, which is why, when Marco asked me about the schooling thing, notice I didn't choose music classes. I chose classes that I knew nothing about. And I thought by getting myself basically deserted on an educational island where I didn't know anything and having to find my way off was a good test to see if the gray matter is still working after all this years of floor toms and chinas. So that would be mine. I would like to sit with him and just
Nice.
talk engineering.
Yeah. Hannah
That
says
is
she
very
would
cool.
still absolutely ride that roller coaster.
I like you already, Hannah.
Nice. All right. So who's your other answer? So that
My
I'm
other
assuming
answer
he's
would be
no
Walt
longer
Disney.
alive. Yes.
Walt Disney,
Oh. All right.
which I figured you would figure, so that's why I went with John Allen.
Okay. That makes sense.
And the reason I'd like to talk to him is because he was an entrepreneur and he had a vision, and he was told no way more than he was told yes. And I don't know about you, but I feel that's a parallel for the music business. I think I live for the 2% yeses that I get in my career, and the other 98% are no's. And you just have to keep swinging and keep your head up and try to keep a buoyant soul and be good to others and not let it make you be bitter. And he was told no so many times, but yet when he knew he was onto something, he knew he had to make it happen. And as a kid, I read every book I could read on him, not on the parks, on him. So I find him fascinating as a human. And if I could sit down with him, I would ask him his perception of the no and how did he take that no and find his way around, under, or over it to get to his end goal. So that would be my question for him. I'd really like to know, how did he know? How did he knew? I mean, he knew he wanted to build the Matterhorn, and they told him he couldn't. Yeah. And he did. He got it done. So that would be, I wouldn't want to even talk to him about cartoons, nothing. Just being an entrepreneur. Yeah.
Sure. All right. So our good friend Sarah's asking here, what roller coaster would you take Mr. Allen on to show the progression of his skill craft?
Fun fact, he hated riding them. Oh. However, if that could happen, it would be the Voyage at Holiday World in Indiana, because it is probably right now the most wonderful, ferocious wooden roller coaster out there. It's long. It goes through the woods. It's fantastic. If you can catch it in a light rain, the brakes don't grab so good. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah. And the Cyclone, where Mark is, the Cyclone is great. I love that ride. The Cyclone of Coney Island is great.
I don't know Mr. Allen, and I didn't know him until now, but if I could take him on a roller coaster, I would take him on the one that I could barely ride, just because we want to talk about the progression of his skill craft. That ride at Magic Mountain that goes and you go like this and you're going like this. What is it? X?
X.
It's now X2, but X.
X2. I rode that one time and I was like, whoop, can't do it. Nope. No.
Those are rare. I believe there are only 3 of those on the planet.
My goodness. That is
and you've been on 33% of them, I think. Wow. I think there's only 3. I'm not such a coaster nerd that I have that all memorized, but I think there's only 3.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I think we should let's what Mark. Yeah, Mark, what do you have to say? Who are your 2 people?
Oh, do I get 2 now, people?
Huh? So because you got a live.
I thought about one.
Oh, you know what? I took it as like, who would you take alive that's alive, and who would you take that's already passed on?
That's an interesting question too.
Okay. The person who's still alive would be Tony Bennett. I mean,
Ooh, nice.
Beyond being an incredible vocalist, storyteller, and his incredibly long career and his interpretation of music, I kind of feel like he's a kindred spirit because he's also a visual artist, painter, and so I feel like we would get along, and so I would love to be able to just chat with him about singing and music, but also just about life in general. I think that would be really interesting.
Nice.
So Tony Bennett would be for me. For someone who's no longer living, oh my goodness, that would be tough. Oh man, who would I? Let's see. I guess it would be Nina Simone. Like
nice.
such an incredible artist, such a passionate. Like that is the word for Nina Simone. Passion. She just lived with it all out there. And anyway, I just think I would be spellbound the whole time, sort of trying to have a conversation with her and hear her stories.
Yeah. Very nice. Good answers. Cool.
Very good answers.
Mr. Daps, would you like to take the next one?
Okay, well, Sammy took my dead choice, so I'm going to pick somebody else. But right. I feel like we've got similar kindred spirits there with maybe not roller coasters, but the leadership history and the entrepreneurial spirit of Walt Disney, because I think there's a ton of lessons there. But since you stole Walt, I'm thinking, how about Roy Disney? Because he had to be the guy that was right there next to Walt and make these crazy ideas happen. And I always feel like that creative entrepreneurial genius always needs that balancing realist or pragmatist to come alongside them. And that's really when they can go up to that level of greatness that they might not like. I just don't think if he had a brother named Roy, we would all be sitting here talking about Walt Disney. And so I think that would be a very fascinating person to get to know and have dinner with or whatever. For living, I've had a bunch of people popping in my head as I've been sitting here. It's like, oh, Paul McCartney would be cool. But actually, that's my easy answer. But I'm going to go for a harder answer just because we're kind of on a Disney kick tonight. It seems like is Michael Eisner. I would love to sit down, and for similar reasons, because I was going to go with Bob Iger first, but I'm backing up to Michael Eisner because I feel like he also is one of those guys that's really creative, and when he's balanced out with somebody who's more of the pragmatist, structured person, that's when he's at his best. And I read his book a couple months ago during the pandemic, and it really impressed me. The vision and the spirit and the enthusiasm and the creativity he had. And it really was when he had to do all of the other stuff as well that I feel like led to, I'm going to say, his downfall with the Walt Disney Company. But I just think it'd be really fascinating to hear his dreams and like, oh, this is what could have been, or this is what I was hoping it would be. But he got so stuck in the management aspect of it that maybe the dreams didn't get to happen the same way he hoped they would. But I just think it'd be an interesting conversation at the very least.
Yeah, right on.
Your turn.
Cool. Okay. I'm having a heck of a time trying to think of who, because
I will admit I was kind of hoping to go last.
I have to say, like, okay, so if I could talk to somebody who is no longer alive, I would love to have lunch and or dinner with Freddie Mercury.
Oh, cool.
I would love to, and after lunch we would go fashion, shopping. I'd ask him to help me style myself, and help me give myself permission to go way out there with fashion. But I would love to just sit and talk with the creative mind of who I think was just such a musical, just an amazing performer who performed with all of his soul and everything that he had. And I'd love to learn more about his life and what inspired what, and those moments, and heck, even just to follow him for a day, back in the creative days when the music was riding. And he was, pushing the limits, and to see where and how it was, just to feel that, just that it seemed, at least, it seemed like it was very fearless. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he was afraid. Maybe he was. We don't know. But that I would love to do that. And then as far as anybody who's living still, I mean, again, it probably goes back to the musical genius folks, and I'm struggling between Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and Quincy Jones, two geniuses.
Yeah.
I think I would probably talk to Brian first, only because I feel in the documentaries that I've seen, I feel we have a very similar way of arranging and creating music, in the style of it. And Quincy's very, very, he knows all his stuff. He can, what I mean, and not to say Brian doesn't, but Quincy probably knows way more theory than I can keep up with, whereas Brian follows the sound in his ear and in his mind, and he brings it to life, whatever it takes. And that I just love that, and those would be my lunch and dinners with two creative folk. I can't get enough. I'm living it every day, but I still can't get enough. So there you go.
That was awesome. You want another one?
Another round? Oh yeah. Let's pick another. Yeah, let's do another. We're doing popcorn round
tonight. That's what Sarah
All
said.
right. The next question came from Tor Loves Purple. Beatles versus the Stones.
All right.
Anybody want to lead off? Anybody have a very strong opinion on this?
I just say the Beatles. I don't know if I have like a formulated answer, but it's just like, there's the sheer number of brilliant hits over just their long career. Like, I'd say Beatles. Yeah.
Do you think it's something internal too, where you just kind of like, I don't know, for whatever reason, you just get pulled to one group or the other? Like, for me, I would say the Beatles also, but I couldn't tell you exactly why I say the Beatles, because I really like a lot of the other stuff too. But there's just something magical about the Beatles that, I don't know. I always keep going back to them, and I keep going to Paul McCartney concerts and all that stuff.
Yeah. Sammy, how about you?
Answering this question could quite possibly cut off 60% of my future work. This is a question I've long avoided answering because the factions on both sides have been at war for thousands of years, and they have different ideologies, and they're never going to get along.
It's true.
That being said, I'm all Stones all the time. I can tell you why. The Stones are trying to sound like the great chess records out of Chicago. They've been trying to do that since they started, and they stick to trying to do that. They've never tried to be anything they're not. And I like the ability they have to wobble on the edge of a knife without falling off of it. I've seen them live several times, and there's portions of the night that you think, oh, here's the night. They're going to have to stop this song. It's not going to make it. There's no way. And then everything's cool, and they make it out, and it's grooving, and it's fine. I do feel I should express to all of the Beatle lovers that I fully recognize the compositional skills of the Beatles and their contribution to music, and I in no way think they're not valid. It's just, if you're talking about I'm on a desert island and I'm going to need a couple weeks to get rescued, and I got to have one catalog or the other, it's the Stones, and I'm in the sand and I'm dancing. So that's all right. That's it for me.
Fair. That's a great answer.
That's a great answer.
You really backed it up too. I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine in there, and I'm on the Beatles side.
Of course you are.
And again, it's because it's the artistic side that the way I feel about it is, I mean, they start off as these wholesome, playing it, and not to say that they were also always wholesome, because they were really kind of like, rock and roll, rockabilly, practicing in the red light districts of where was that? Somewhere in
Hamburg, Germany.
Hamburg, thank you. And and I actually, it was fun because when I first played in Hamburg, we got to roll by some of the clubs that they played, and they showed us where the Beatles were, basically shedding and discovering themselves.
That's cool.
And it was the coolest thing. And but they come out very wholesome and everything. And I don't know. I'm with you, Mr. Daps, on the whole Paul McCartney thing, because I love what he does. I love his voice. I love how he takes a bass and he makes it, groove, but also be melodic and have this sense of musicality to it. And it's not just holding down, which, hey, rock and roll too. I mean, he does the rock and roll thing too, but also just the way, even on his solo stuff, there's this song from that movie, The Lake House or The Lake something that he did. It was a more modernist song. It's like, I'm very sure this never happened to me before. But I love the way he starts the bass on that and just does, his thing. He's one of the bassists that inspires me when I record and play. Like I tend to, I don't necessarily try to sound like him, but I feel like I channel that energy that he brought. And then you add, all the other members. You got, Ringo. Just Ringo comes in after this drummer that they had, and he just,
poor Pete.
He's not the greatest drummer, but he really fell it. And Sammy, kick my butt if I'm wrong here, but I mean, he came in and he just found this pocket. And I think there is some charm and something to something that isn't quite as perfect. No. And I believe so. I believe that too. But and so I mean, that's why it's a very hard question. I could see that, especially for somebody who likes both. And then you of course got the genius that came out when Lennon and McCartney were together writing, and Lennon and his just like bravado, and Paul McCartney and his just romantic side and all these things. And I love it, and especially when they allowed themselves to go beyond live artists to become recording artists, in the sense that they were creating stuff that was probably going to be impossible to create live again. They were experimenting with the length and the time and the tempo or whatever they would play back, and then they would de-pitch something or something and then record on top of that, and then just really experimental. And I think it's cool as an artist to push those boundaries. And even if it gets a little weird, even if it gets a little, because I'll admit there's songs of theirs that I don't like. I can't think of any right now, but I'll listen to them and I'll be like, I'll skip this one. But at some point I gave it all a very, very good listen, and I was like, it spoke to me, and I was like, yep, that's artistry. That to me is artistry, and I admire it. I respect it. And even if I don't always like it, it's the same way. And I think I like the variety of the Beatles as well. For me, the Stones do get a bit repetitive. And you know, if I need that, you know, rock and roll, yeah, I'm going to go to the Stones because there are tons of songs by the Stones that I love. It's just that the variety that the Beatles bring me, that would be my 2 weeks on an island waiting to get rescued band.
Yeah.
Hoping that my iPad or iPod or whatever would last that long.
I think one cool common denominator is the drummers for both bands were jazz guys.
Really?
That's the common denominator.
Interesting.
Ringo listened to a lot of Cozy Cole, who had a drum hit called Topsy Part 2 here in the U.S.
Oh.
And Ringo was listening to him. Ringo was not well when he was younger. He had some illness, and he spent a lot of time in bed with the radio, and he was listening to the Swingers. And similarly, Charlie loves and has had a big band. So there's a similarity in the swagger of both of those bands because their drummer is rooted in jazz history, which becomes American history, which becomes African rhythmic history. So again, that's kind of why for me, you know, I'm always the only Stones guy in the room. I'm used to this, but but to me, you know, those Chess Records sessions from Chicago were so pure, and they weren't trying to do anything other than take these rhythms from their culture and their experience and their upbringing and get them to fit over the chord changes that came out of classical European music here in America, which is what jazz does and a lot of other art forms. So watching, you know, that, you know, I feel like if the Stones ever get there, if they ever really sound like a chess, then that's it. They're going to stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's been the quest. And I know they haven't quite gotten to it. But yeah, I mean, two seminal bands that have shaped the entire musical planet. I don't think you can. I think you'd be really hard pressed to talk about any modern band after the early 60s that in some way doesn't have a bit of a fingerprint from the Beatles or the Stones on them. I think they've been that huge in what they've done. You know, so that's an interesting question. Now, who asked that question? Because they just got me.
That's our friend Tori from San Diego.
Who?
Tori from San Diego. Tori.
All right,
from
listen,
San
Tori.
Diego.
I've made it all these years in the music business, and I've been working and never had to talk about this. And if I start not getting called, I'm coming to your house, and I'll be on the court, and I'll be living there until things pick up. So this is on you, Tori.
Okay,
that's right.
I'm checking our email right now, and you know, some mails are already coming in.
Watch that Instagram.
We are losing gigs left and right.
Well, you're not. It's only the drum idiot who spoke his mind that's in trouble. You guys are fine.
But speaking of gigs, I think that's a perfect segue into the next question. If you guys are all willing, this one's less controversial. What has been your favorite venue to perform in? And we'll make all of us answer.
Okay.
Oh no, that's so hard.
Mr. Dapp, I need a ruling. Is this for the venue's sake or for the performance?
I'm gonna go with what meant the most to you. So actually, I'll lead off just because mine's gonna be unorthodox. I sang in my earlier days and also played in bands before I moved into the more of the production realm of life. And so I was thinking through looking at this answer. I'm like, oh, well, I've sung in cathedrals all around Europe, and I've played in some places in the upper Midwest. But my favorite performance venue ever was with 3 other college singers on the streets of Venice, where we were just singing quartets. And people kind of just gathered around and we would sing random songs. And there was something ridiculously magical about singing for 12 people instead of, you know, one time I performed in St. Louis and it was in front of 4,000. And doing kind of a parody rock thing that I'll probably never show on here. But maybe Mark and Mark
or will you have to find it now?
Or will you?
I know exactly where it is. But yeah, there was something really magical about that small, like having the canals there and the it just Venice. You know, it's hard to beat, and that's probably my favorite place that I've performed, even though it's not a traditional venue.
All right.
Gotcha. That's a great answer.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, Mark, what do you got?
Oh, okay. I guess that is like such a hard question, but you gotta just choose one. So this is what I choose tonight. So if you ask me another night, it might be different. All right. So, it was in Cairns, Australia, right across from the Great Barrier Reef, and it was pouring rain, and it was an outdoor venue.
Yes.
At this like park or something, because the theater venue we usually play out whenever we would tour there was being upgraded, so we just did it in a park. But it was pouring rain. Also, our music director was sick. Like our band leader was sick, and so I had to take over leading the band. And we were trying to decide if we were going to cancel the show or not, but we didn't, because people were out there in the rain. Like, we were covered as a band, but the audience wasn't. And so people had like, if they had ponchos or they had umbrellas or they just had like towels, like people really wanted to see the Glenn Miller Orchestra and didn't want to miss it. And so we're like, okay, we're going to do the show in the rain. And we did the whole show. People stayed the whole time. They had a blast. And, just looking out at all those people, I don't know. It was something I'll never forget. And I'll never forget that venue. And, anyway. So I don't know. That's more a performance that I'll never forget. But I'll remember the venue, too.
The performance in the venue tie it all together, right?
Yeah.
It's like, for me, sometimes there's songs that I don't really like, and then suddenly there's some memory that happens that's attached to them, and suddenly I don't care what anybody says, I love that song because it always reminds me of that time, that thing. So it's like, I think with that, for that performance of you, that probably made that the venue just, and that it being there, because I think the venue also, I think in some ways is made up by the people as well who attend that venue. And that's what makes it special. Otherwise, it's just another rehearsal hall.
True. True. Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sammy, shall we hear from you?
Since I got screwed on the Stones question, I'm gonna stretch this one out just a hair because I don't have a straight shot. I also, like Mr. Daps, have sung in cathedrals in Europe, and there's no other experience like that. It's a singular experience to hear the human voice reverberate in that architecture. And then because I'm an architecture nerd, to look around and see that architecture was, I'm like, how did they do that? Now, how did they cantilever that so that it's not falling? Because I'm a total, and I mentioned I'm a nerd, I did, right? So, I've had experiences like that. I've played a lot of the big rooms in New York, the Bottom Line, CBGB's, Arlene's Groceries, the Bitter End, and I had a lot of great experiences in all those. But I mean, I'm not sure those venues are super magical, but the performances were. So those hold special places in my mind. I played in a basketball arena with Bob Hope when I was very young, but I was the only guy that could read and kick a 50-piece orchestra. So I got the gig and maybe didn't belong there. But when the lights go down and the drums go cha 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 ba ba boo da da dow, and all these people are screaming, that's pretty strong. I don't think the venue was anything sexy. I mean, it was a basketball arena. But the one, I think, if I was hard pressed and I had it's the end of my life and I'm on my deathbed and somebody wants to say, what was that one moment? I think it was looking through the lid on the piano was on the tall stick, and I was looking through the lid at Dave Brubeck.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm trying to play Blue Rondo a la Turk.
Nice.
And I'm trying not to suck because he's not going to miss it.
Right. Yeah.
And I remember my blood pressure and my shoulders going down about 30 clicks the minute we got into and we were just swinging and looking over and seeing the grin on his face that I had actually executed it. And again, I was pretty young when that was going on. So again, maybe there's a question of should someone else have been there, but I was the guy. That's the way it worked out. And it was beautiful to play with him. It was amazing to actually be able to kind of hear his touch, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
Even a recording doesn't necessarily get the way he was working the piano. The venue was nothing special. It was at my university. It's not a room that anyone would look at and go, wow, some magic happened here. But that was really impactful to me. And then I also saw the Tower of Power in that same room, which was a mini religious experience. So
that's cool.
That group of wood does hold a little bit of something for me. I think if we were going to talk about it, and again, not a big room. It doesn't hold a couple hundred people, maybe.
Yeah. Boy, as I hear you all sharing this, it's like I'm like struggling to rack my mind to think of which one, but I think this answer really does tie down to that experience tied to the venue. And I'm gonna go to a small jazz club in Denmark. What is it called? Dexter's. I think it's called Dexter's. It was either in Copenhagen or Odense. And the reason I like this, because we were a rock and roll band touring Europe, and this was my first time in Europe, and we're there and we're going city to city, and everything is just awesome. Like, goodness, European hospitality is amazing for bands. They're just every bit of it was awesome. And we go, and it's this tiny little club. I mean, acoustically dead. Just you could go and you hear nothing afterwards. So we go, we play, and the kindest, most softly spoken audience comes in. Like, well, we're just going to do what we do. They're probably going to, boo us or think we're, whatever. But my favorite thing was after a performance, after a song would finish, you'd hear, the typical, the applause, kind of like, the staggered applause. And then slowly it goes, it all syncs up. And then everyone was in tempo clapping together until they all stopped together somehow. And it like starts off, and then everyone's on the, and I thought, wow, like everyone just purposely did that. And I don't know if that's a sign of respect or it's just what happens. But when we're here at concerts in America or anywhere that I've been to, it's just and it's clap, 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 and kind of like our audience. Right? And it's never until an audience decides to something like, start cheering like, Mr. Daps, or Vitor, that it ever gets in tempo. Yeah. Right. So I don't know why, but that just really stood out to me. And it was the coolest thing also because the next morning, as we're walking to our van to get ready to go to the next city, the cutest bunch of school kids that reminded me of Pinocchio because they had the little leather belt that held their books together. And they were like in their, I'm not kidding. It was either, like overalls or lederhosen almost, but they were just walking to school. And then they knew somehow that we were out of town musicians. And when they saw us, all the kids go, yay! Kind of like, the iMovie effect when the kids cheer. It's like, yay! Yeah. And so that whole experience brought it. So I'm pretty sure that was Odense, where Hans Christian Andersen was from.
That's cool.
Or I don't know if that's where he's from, but that's where the Hans Christian Andersen house is, where he made many of the children's books. And so that was one of the cutest and coolest, for tonight. That's my answer.
That's a great answer. So very quick question that's the last one that was submitted for us. And I think I'm going to pass this one just to Marco because I think you can answer it the quickest. When are you back at downtown Disneyland or California?
Oh man, I wish we knew. I wish we had something. There's just there's no saying just yet. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that as we approach into the next seasons, we got the fall and then the winter. That maybe we'll get some sort of a call or confirmation, something that lets us know that we'll be back. But thank you for asking. I mean, heck, the moment that they ask us and give us a date, we will be there. And trust me, you'll hear about it. But for now, the most we could be at Disneyland is going to be maybe in our imaginations, and going into I don't know, just as we wait to see and hold our breaths to find out what's happening next. So that's the best I can answer that.
And just to add to that answer is, if you would like to see Phat Cat at Disneyland, the best thing you can do is go to Disneyland.com and click on that contact button and ask them when Phat Cat is coming back and tell them how much you love them. And you can also go to City Hall or the Chamber of Commerce to do the exact same thing. And since I don't perform with you guys up there, I feel completely safe telling them to do this. So I have zero conflicts here. This is great because I'm your biggest fan, I feel like.
Yeah.
But definitely go do that. And with that, should we pivot to a game, guys?
Yeah.
Hey, why not? Let's do a game. It's game time.
Do you want the video?
Let's roll the
let's
video.
do it.
Yeah, we gotta have the video.
Roll that tape.
Oh yeah, we had to have that.
You had to have that.
Had to have that.
Everybody, game time. Game time. Game time. Game time.
Game time. All right. So we do remember that Mark
Hey, we
has
got our
200
head
points,
over here.
which gives him a chance tonight. Mark doesn't even know this because we didn't tell him. We are playing 5-second summaries. The way this works is I am going to put a name of a movie up on the screen while two of you hide your eyes. Whoever is left gets 5 seconds when your eyes have opened again to summarize the movie. And I'm seeing Sammy shake his head no, which means Mark gets to go first.
Okay. Well, just know that Sarah says I start with 200 points. So
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with her.
Fair.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. And so what I'm going to do is have Marco and Sammy, would you please cover your eyes? And Mark, I'm going to show you this. Oh, that's fancy.
Ooh. Okay.
All right. Do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
You guys can uncover your eyes again.
Okay.
And are you guys ready?
Well, how does it work? Do we go at the same time, or how does this
So
work?
Mark is going to give you a 5-second summary from which you guys then have to guess what that movie is. So basically, he doesn't have a lot of time just to give you a clue.
Got it.
Yeah. Whoever gets it first wins.
Got it. I'm new.
You'll have a blast. This is going to be great. So Mark, whenever you're ready, give us our 5-second summary, please.
All right. Here we go. So it's the movie that has "I Want to Be Like You," and there's monkeys and the panthers and there's a
Jungle
snake.
Book.
Marco, you can
Are we
shout
doing-
these out.
Shouting, right? Okay.
Shouting
Let's make
out.
that the practice round. Let's
All
make
right.
that
That was
the
the
practice
practice
round.
round.
for Sam.
My hand was up way before Mark. I mean, I know it's Marco's band.
You know
but
what?
come on.
You were right. So we're going to do it again. And what's even better about this is it means that Mark gets to go again. So if you two will cover your eyes, please.
All right, one more. I could do the same thing.
And I will show Mark now.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, no, I don't know. I think I know what that is. Let's do it.
All right. You guys can uncover your eyes. And Mark, you can begin.
Okay, so I think this is like a futuristic family, and it's a TV show. I don't know.
Galaxy
Yes.
Quest.
What?
It is not Galaxy Quest.
The
No.
Jetsons.
It is not the Jetsons.
But that's what I think.
It's the right direction, though. You both are kind of in the right
All right, Marco,
realm.
let's work together now. See, they can't stop us.
All right.
So we know it's not Galaxy
Okay.
Quest or the
Is
Jetsons.
it a cartoon? Is it a cartoon?
It is a cartoon.
Okay, is it the one with the?
Is it from the Disney
Robinson?
company?
What were you saying, Marco?
It's the one with the Robinson something name in it.
Meet the Robinsons.
There it is, Sammy.
Is it
With
Meet
200
the
points
Robinsons?
right there.
Woo!
Well done,
That's
sir.
good.
All right, since you were the winner of that round, I think you get to go next.
I
You
think that's the
mean
way it
me?
works.
Sammy
you have to
gets
act
to
it
go
out
next.
now.
Okay, so now I look at a thing and then I give the description.
That is correct. So
Great.
if
Correct.
Marco and Mark would hide their eyes, please. Here you go, Sammy.
Oh yeah.
You got this. I have full confidence in you. You can uncover your eyes, gentlemen. All right, Sammy,
All right.
whenever you're ready.
Stars multicolored canines. Has an evil person involved. Lots of fur, black and white everywhere.
Star Wars,
That is not it.
Spaceballs,
Also not it, but you know, Sammy,
I
you
said
had
the
a
word
very good description.
canine. Canine. C-A-N. Canine. Dogs.
Multicolored canines.
A lot of black and white.
A lot of black and white.
Evil woman.
Oh, Dalmatians. 101 Dalmatians.
Mark, you get points.
Oh, nice.
We'll give you another 200 points. You are now in the lead with 400 points.
200 points.
Mark,
Wow.
this is your night. I think
Oh
New
my
York is
God.
rubbing some good luck on you here.
I finally
Was
get
it-
some good karma from Mr. Daps. This is good.
I wonder if it's that or if it was that powerful fair food you were eating.
Oh, are these pity points? Are these pity points?
No, this is legit.
You are fair and square winning here.
We
You
do
are-
have a couple clips for later because I
All
don't,
right,
think
all right.
know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we'll give people a little clip of that in a moment. So I guess it's my turn to
Never-
act now. If we're
It
going
is
around
your
the circle.
turn. So,
Never
gentlemen,
underestimate the power of yellow dye number 7, Mark.
Oh, I'll take your word for it.
all right,
All right.
Sammy and
Here we
Mark,
go.
hide your eyes, please.
Wait,
And Mark, go. Here you go.
Oh, all right.
And remember, you can't
Okay.
use the title in what you say. So, all right, uncover your eyes. And whenever you're ready, Marco.
Abracadabra. Oh, hi. I'm going to pull.
Aladdin. Sword in the Stone.
Oh,
that was it,
there you go.
Hey!
Good job.
200
Hey!
points. So I think what we should do here is since Marco, you're not on the board, they each have 400 points. I think we should do a tiebreaker.
Okay.
The winner of the night. So if you're willing, I'm going to give you another movie, and it'll
Okay.
be between Sammy and Mark. We've never had a tiebreaker before.
Why
This is
can't we
great.
all just get along? Why can't we all be winners, man?
Because you're a Stones lover, all right? And I gotta put you down.
Okay.
I gotta put you down for
All
the
right.
people in the comments.
Okay. I
Oh,
heard
this
you.
one's
I
for
heard
the
you, New
Stones.
York. All right.
This is for the Stones or the Beatles now. Here we go. Eyes
Oh
covered. Here we
man,
go.
the pressure, the pressure. All right, I'm hoping I haven't ever done this one before. All right, you ready, Mark?
I'm
Marco,
ready.
keep your eyes covered.
Oh, okay. How can I make this challenging?
All right, uncover your eyes. Yeah, make it challenging, Marco.
Yeah, give me 1 second to just try to make this a little more challenging because it's a
I'll
little
just
too easy.
start counting down whenever you say you're starting. Everybody make faces at Marco while you wait.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you didn't
I'm
have to
gonna
make many
go.
faces.
I am gonna do a little harder on this then because it's a little too easy.
I
But,
think that's fair.
All right.
Ready?
Okay, here we go. There was controversy around this movie because when the character laid down on the thing, the leaves went up and they spelled something bad, and then they said no, that wasn't it, but it really did happen. But because I saw it on VHS.
You are so right there, Marco. That was very well done.
I had to make it challenging because
The
otherwise it was
leaves?
too
Did
easy.
you say the leaves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't know which movie.
And I'm also looking at the comments because you might get help over there.
It is a Disney movie, I believe, right?
It is a Disney movie.
Yeah, and
I do have a clue if you can't get it.
if I guess, then I'm wrong. I'm gonna get negative points, though, right? So
You never know.
Oh man!
I actually have been playing it by whoever gets it first tonight.
I know you have been. You've been really nice about that.
I'm not going to change that. Like, you can get it wrong.
Okay, then I'll say Little Mermaid.
That is incorrect.
Aladdin.
No.
Jungle Book.
Go on, Sammy. Sammy, guess.
Winnie the Pooh in the 1,000-Acre Wood.
No.
The leaves. What?
The leaves.
Beauty,
The
Beauty
character
and the
lays
Beast.
down.
Mulan.
The character lays down and these leaves go up and they spell something that we shouldn't see as kids. But I saw it as a kid. And,
Yeah.
and the leaves went somewhere.
See,
And it's been very controversial if it's actually intentional or not, but it probably was.
Song of the South.
Not that.
No,
That's the most controversial Disney one I know.
Maybe it's not.
I thought this was a good clue from Hannah.
Oh, Sarah with the hint. Come on now.
Is that
It's up to the grabbing.
is that Lilo and Stitch?
No.
Is that
I already said
Moana?
Jungle Book.
Nope.
That was not the answer.
Want me to put on a grass skirt and dance and do the hula? Hoi!
Oh, that sounds really familiar, but I don't know.
Another one. Another good hint. Come on.
These are so good.
I
These are
don't
so
know.
Lion King.
Yeah.
Bam!
Hey, there it is.
And the Stones win tonight.
Okay, just for the record, I do like the Stones too. I just, for the.
I think
for
we
the
all
drama.
like the Stones.
And just
How
for
do
the
you
record, I would, Your Honor, I would like to enter this into the record. I think that the Beatles are amazing, and their contribution to music cannot be even measured yet. I think it's still affecting music.
Probably right.
So I'm not my head in the sand thinking they're not good.
No. Hey,
I
when
don't
get
know,
asked that
man.
question,
There's something about that dirty, wobbly, we might fall out of the back of the bar thing that I kind of like.
Yeah.
I get it.
The only thing is, Sammy, we can just edit that part out of the episode and leave the rest out.
Yeah.
And speaking of editing, though,
No, we won't.
That's
We won't
right.
do that.
Wouldn't be the first time, Mark.
Oh, no.
but
So,
speaking of editing,
Oh, no.
I feel like this is a perfect segue because we are working on editing something from last weekend. And Mark, do you want all of these shown, or what do you want to see?
Let's see. Well, honestly, I haven't even really watched all of them, so maybe we just show a part of it. So,
I'm going to
just show
show
part of
this
something.
one. I'm going to
Okay.
show from what you've put here what I think is safe, and I'll probably cut it pretty quick.
Yeah, I think you should cut it soonish. Just a teaser.
Okay. This is the tease. Here we go.
There's no frog here. I was kidding.
I think I have to go. I think someone's giving me a call.
What is that?
I did not plan that, Mark.
Do you just see the fear in my eyes?
My favorite part, though, is there's no frog legs here.
yeah. So next time we're going to get a chance to show you a little behind the scenes of what we did at the fair after the concert. And yeah, we can't wait to show you all that. But you know what? Can we get a round of applause for our good friend, Mr. Sammy K, joining us tonight? Sammy, I thank you so much for joining us on a Casual Wednesday, talking about everything that we talked about tonight. And you know what? You gave one to the Stones tonight. And you were outnumbered in this group, and you still won for the Stones tonight.
I'm just glad that we were able to keep it respectful and that everybody could have their opinion and that no one had to feel, lesser than. And Mark, I've been taken to many fairs where people try to, have me eat things that shouldn't be eaten. So I got your back on that, man. Don't even feel, no shame there. No shame at all.
I got you.
Better late than never.
I mean, you want to talk about going to fairs in Michigan in my childhood? I mean, come on. We don't even know what that stuff was. We're not even sure if it was actual food.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No worries, man. And if I could really quickly just say thank you to Marco and to Mr. Daps and to Mark, and of course the whole Phat Cat family and all of the friends, followers, even the people that don't like the band. If you're watching, we love you. We don't care. We love everybody.
We love everybody.
You don't even have
really
to like think we're great. It's fine. We love you all. You're all welcome here. That no one is excluded from PCS. Everybody's in.
It's true.
And I just want to say I really
true.
enjoyed this, and I appreciate being included in this. And the three of you were lovely, and I hope that anyone who's watching or watches later can get something out of this, whether it's a laugh or a tear or a thought or anything that inspires them. Then I think our work here was worth it. And I think I should just play myself out, and you can just take me out when we're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Marco, we're just supposed to get the okay.
Oh, yeah. Opera teacher. Come on now. Bravo.
Yeah,
Sammy K, everybody. Sammy K.
There he is.
Bye, Sammy. Yes, well, that was a wonderful Wednesday, Casual Wednesday. Friends, I got to ask you, if you really enjoyed these Casual Wednesdays, let us know in the comments. Give a share to this, maybe even after the show posts. Leave the comments there so we can help boost those algorithms so that maybe next week we'll get to 1,100 and we can get Mark splashed with some water or something.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay, so it's just like a standing promise there. Okay,
I mean, maybe. Okay. I don't know. I mean, if we could do it in
That's
1
how
week.
I heard it.
But honestly, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, joining us every week. We're going to see, maybe we might go back to our other format next week, unless you guys love this so much that you tell us in all the comments and everywhere that you want us to do this again, because it's been fun doing this, being a little casual, sporting our band shirts and our other friends' shirts.
Especially with the heat.
Yeah, goodness, I'm not kidding. Yeah, and it's going to get a little muggier over here, right where I'm at right now.
Right.
So everybody, thank you so much again, and I guess that's it. So we'll see you next Wednesday. Yeah,
that's right.
Good.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
It's time for us to say goodbye to all our friends. We hope you had a really great time. We'd love to stay some more and swing till the end of the night. It's time for us to pack our stuff and go. We danced, we sang, we played our hearts out to you. We showed you what we're all about. We hope to see you again the next time we are around. That's when you tell your friends the Phat Cats are in town. Again, we'd like to thank someone. Oh wait, that someone would be you. Cause without you, none of this would be true. Just remember to share that great big smile with somebody next to you. Cause you might just brighten someone's cloudy day.